I'd like to read you a book called 10 Things I Can Do to Help My World, written by Melanie Walsh. I remember to switch off the light when I leave the room. Turning off lights saves valuable energy and low energy bulbs use much less electricity. I try to turn off the tap when I brush my teeth. Every time you do this, you save 18 glasses of water. I always put my litter in the bin. Tidying away litter keeps the world safe and clean. I shall feed the birds in winter. Feeding them helps them get ready for nesting in the spring. I use both sides of the paper. If everybody did this, it would greatly reduce the number of trees we use to make paper. I remind my mommy to turn off the TV at the wall. Electrical appliances still use energy when they are on standby. I enjoy making toys from old boxes. I like to walk to school. Avoiding car journeys saves fuel and means there is less air pollution. It is also good exercise. I can plant seeds and help them grow. Plants help to keep the air clean and healthy. I help to sort the recycling. Over half of our rubbish can be recycled. It takes much less energy to recycle something than to make a new one. All because I love my world. So that's the first book. And the second book is A Planet Full of Plastic by Neil Layton and how you can help. Hello you. Who, me? That's right. Quick question. Do you ever think about what things are made of? Because some things are made of paper like this book. Some things are made of wood or metal or glass. But some things, in fact, lots of things, are made of something called plastic. Like plastic lid, plastic label, plastic milk carton, and so many more. Isn't plastic fantastic? It comes in lots of different shapes, sizes and colors. Sometimes it's bendy, sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's big, and sometimes it's really, really tiny. If you look around you, plastic is everywhere. But where does all this plastic come from? Little hint. It doesn't grow on the tree. That's right, it's made in factories like straw factory, bottle factory or plastic bucket bag factory. You see, 150 years ago there wasn't any plastic, only materials like wood, metal, paper and stone. And then one day super chemist Mr. Beekman made an incredible discovery. Crazy, groovy, plastic is fantastic, they all said. They started making lots of it and using it for just about everything they could. Plastic glasses, plastic food box, plastic spacesuit, plastic coated cup, plastic drink bottle, plastic boots. But there was a problem. If you look around, you won't just see plastic where it's meant to be. You'll also see it where it's not meant to be. Because one of the most amazing things about plastic is that it doesn't biodegrade like natural things. Oh, that's a big word. What does it mean? Let me explain. If a leaf drops to the ground, it will go yellow and then brown and skinny and thin until it's just made of dust. It takes few months. You can't see them, but bugs are eating the leaf, breaking it down. And it's the same with an apple core or any natural thing. This is called biodegrading. This is after 1 week, after a month, after about 6 months. How long does it take to biodegrade? Twig takes 1 year, over 1 year. Paper 4 weeks, that's 1 month. Banana peel takes 6 weeks and leaf up to 6 months. Plastic bottle, after 1 month, after 6 months, after 1 year, many years later. Plastic is different. If it drops to the ground, it just stays there for years and years and years. It doesn't biodegrade. Really? Yes, really. This makes plastic super useful because it lasts a long time, but it also creates a problem. If plastic ends up where it's not meant to be, it will stay there for years and years until eventually the weather breaks it down into smaller and smaller pieces of plastic. A huge amount of this plastic eventually ends up in the ocean. Some of it floats to the top of the ocean and stays there, and some of it sinks to the bottom of the ocean and stays there. And all of this is a really big problem for animals. Some of them get tied up in it, and some of them try to eat the plastic. Because of circular currents in the ocean, the bits of plastic have collected together, creating 5 enormous garbage patches full of plastic. The most famous is called the North Pacific Garbage Patch. It is currently 3 times the size of France. Most of the plastics in these patches has broken up into pieces that are so small you can hardly see them. A microplastic is any piece smaller than this. These are even more of a problem than big bits. Animals think they are food, so they eat them. The microplastics fill up their tummies, leaving no room for proper food. And the plastics often carry and contain nasty toxins, so if a small fish eats them, it can be poisoned. And so might a bigger fish that eats the small fish for dinner, and then all the way up the food chain. Some scientists think there will soon be more plastic than fish in the sea. But I don't want animals to get hurt. And I don't want our planet to fill up with plastic. Well, we all need to try to reduce how much plastic we use every day. The less we use, the less we have to clean up. And people who make stuff for us need to think carefully about what they do with plastic. Creating things that will be thrown away in minutes but stay in the environment forever isn't right. Lots of plastic things are meant to be reused over and over again. Let's make sure we do. And if we have finished using a plastic thing, perhaps we can pass it to someone else. When the plastic stuff has been reused lots of times, it should be recycled so it can be turned into new plastic things, not just thrown away. But plastic can only be recycled a few times before it stops being useful. And not all plastics can be recycled. So environmentalists are teaching people about the problem because everyone needs to help fix it. Scientists are coming up with clever ideas through experimenting with special bugs which might help plastic biodegrade and finding new materials for us to use. And engineers are looking at ways we can clear up the mess, like perhaps we can use a giant floating net, or a sea beam, or solar-powered wheel to collect plastic, or a boat that eats plastic. It will take each and every person working together to stop the planet filling up with the plastic. It's a big job, but I reckon we can do it. Thanks for listening. Bye. Perfect. Oh, it's done.